Water purified.
I don't drink LA Heat.
You like LA, man?
We'll just go with it. Sam. That's fine. Yeah, why not? Well, that's what everybody else.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the second session of the first night of the Sweet 16, Kentucky HealthCare Sweet 16. With us tonight from the victorious George Rogers Clark Cardinals, Coach Josh Cook, student athletes Tanner Walton, Jerome Morton, and Sam Parrish, who it's his birthday tonight, by the way. So, Coach, we'd like to have you to do opening comments.
I thought we, after the first quarter, I thought we kind of set in and guard. Our defense was much better in the second and the third, and kind of the difference in the game for us. First quarter, they were able to get some, easier buckets. We got lazy a couple of times. I think a lot of that is the nerves part where, we're playing full court D, and after the first 3 minutes, that second win kind of gets in you. But the second and third, I thought our depth kind of paid off, and our guys did a much better job defensively. So, which led to transition buckets for us.
Questions?
Coach, it's 13-12 there toward the end of the first.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, it's 28-14. Just speak of your guys' like spurt ability and what maybe kind of sets that off, whether it be a dunk from Trent or Jerome hit the three. Just kind of speak to how that kind of takes off.
Well, it's really about doing their jobs. One of the guys that helped spark it was when Rayshawn came in, and he's a shooter. That's what he does. That's what we want him to do. And we don't question his shots. So when he hits shots, it kind of opens things up. When Jerome gets going, it feeds everybody else. Sam can get going. We have several guys that can make plays and really put points on the board in a hurry. So, but it's a credit to our guys being unselfish. It's not easy to always put the team first in the way that all the attention goes and things like that as far as individual stats. But in the end, I think they understand that if you put the team first and you play together, that you'll be rewarded.
Jerome, this feel any different this year coming in? Obviously a big target on your backs, but kind of, having the experience, how does it compare to the last few times?
No, we really don't feel different, but we just coming here and hoping for, I don't know, like we want a better outcome than last year. Yeah, that's all I got.
Coach, you haven't had a ton of games recently where a lot of your guys aren't playing well. It seems like you guys have a ton of weapons that you coach can go to. When everyone's clicking though like this, how easy is it for you on the sidelines to just let those guys run and do their thing?
Might not be as easy as people would think. They are who they are. I don't try to change personalities. I want them to be themselves. We also try to manage and try to help them grow and understand. And they have their moments. They're kids. As you interview them, you'll see them. They're still kids. And so, they're going to have great moments where they're playing great, and they're going to have moments when they struggle. And so our job is to stay behind them and pick them up and teach them to keep playing together. But, for me, it's just finding the flow and the rhythm. When we're making shots, things we said the first half is like, you guys got to take 3-point shots. You got to take shots. You're passing up shots and dribbling too much. And, but when you have playmakers, that's kind of the way the game is played nowadays. Guys, they see guys on TV and want to over dribble, but, we want our guys just to put your head down and get north and be ready to make a play. And if somebody helps, make the extra pass and take shots and score.
Sam, you made a few threes there in a row in the second half there. You were clapping your hands. Just how much fun were you and the rest of the guys having out there just rolling?
It was really exciting. My teammates just find me when I'm open. I'm just playing defense. That's my field to my fire, just getting everybody going. I feel like once I'm playing hard on defense, it makes everybody want to play defense and play even harder.
How much fun are you guys having?
Oh, we're having a lot of fun, as you can tell.
Sammy, you were joking there in the pregame a little, or right there before this started, but some of the stuff people say about you guys are a lot of criticism. Just how do you process through that and kind of deflect that and try to keep distractions out?
I don't think we really care what anybody says. We got one mission, one goal, and that's to win the state championship. Coach Cook's been saying that since the start of this season, and that's our plan.
This one's for Tanner. Tanner, you look like you were fighting pretty hard for the rebounds there under the basket. You speak to that at all?
I was just trying to do my job. Trent's down there blocking shots and contesting shots. I was just trying to go out and get as many rebounds as I could.
Just to add to the defense, Trent's presence down low might not have showed up in the blocks category, but just how many shots he altered. I mean, just speak how beneficial that is, how that leads you out on breaks and stuff like that.
Oh, he's phenomenal. And, that's kind of and honestly, it's a lot of times people ask, what's the one guy that can separate us a lot of times? It's when Trent's got a motor, Trent changes the game completely. Whether or not it's contesting shots around the floor, early on in the game, he steps out and hits the three. I mean, he can shoot it. He's really skilled. Part of our defensive strategy is do your job, and it's got to be pretty unselfish of what we want to do. Jerome knows if he's got a certain positions, he's got to guard certain types of personnel. Aiden, if he's there, we're chasing. Aiden's chasing somebody. Sam's guarding the other team's point guard. Tanner is usually being an IQ guy, and then Trent does his thing blocking shots, and we won't give Trent freedom to do that because he can change the game completely. But on the flip side, like Tanner said, that means we got to go rebound for it. But Trent's a difference maker. I also think he's one of the more underrated players in the state, and you're going to see the next. He's young, guys. I mean, he's young. He's young in the mind. He's going to get better in the next 3 or 4 years. He could turn out to be a very special player.
Josh, you've brought a few teams here now in a few different schools. How, from kind of going back to maybe the first time you were here to now, what do you think you've learned just as a coach going through this and trying to keep guys all on the same page? Because a lot of those teams have had, been good enough to maybe win it.
I think I do a better job of just being more honest. Honestly, their situation is what it is. I guess when 2016, 6 years ago, we came down with Mercer County and we played. There's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of talk with that stuff. And what I've kind of learned is just kind of accept things for what they are and really just talk about it with your team. And there's nothing wrong with, having a big vision with it. It doesn't mean, we know each game matters, each game you got to play. But I think we've just made a choice that, hey, to be special and block out the noise. And, there's criticism and there's all kinds of things, but let's just be honest about it. Let's say, this is what you're hearing, put together, tune it out, understand that's what people are going to say, or that's what they're going to question. And let's just be honest about our goal. If you want to play for a state championship, you better be talking about it. And if you're not talking, it's not like you're going to luck into it. And, and from years past, I think I've always kind of maybe sometimes coaches will talk like, we want to get our one game at a time. That's great. And I get that. It is one game at a time, but there has to be a big vision of what you truly want. And if the kids are not dreaming about it, you're not going to get it. So I've just tried to make sure I've done a good job of making these guys believe and see a vision that, we can do something really special and win a big picture.
Back. Tanner, what do you feel like you guys did so well tonight? What about tonight's performance makes you think that you guys can make this run here this weekend and make it happen?
I would say it starts with our defense. I think constantly getting defensive stops, which leads to fast breaks and layups and dunks and threes. I think that is what the difference maker between us and other teams is, that we turn our defense into offense and get. I just think we all have the same mindset. We all want to win. So that's just why we're clicking. Yeah.
Final questions. Coach, players, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you all.
Right now, we have the Perry County Central Commodores, head coach Shannon Hoskins, student athletes Dylan Brock, Lance McKenzie, and Landon Napier. Coach, comments, please.
Well, we played an awful good basketball team. I think first quarter, we kind of maintained what we wanted to do for the game. And then after that, they just gained more and more confidence and sped us up and got into their game in which we were in trouble from that point on.
Questions from the media right here?
Coach, kind of talk about their speed and length. Obviously, you guys had an outstanding year. No one's beat these guys yet in the state, but kind of talk about their size and length and athleticism.
It's everywhere. You know, they bring it off the bench, have it on the floor. They've got great size, great length. They play great help. There's not a lot of cracks to fit through, so to speak. I thought we did a good job in the first half, being patient and getting into those cracks in the first quarter, rather. And then after that, they just sped us up. I think there was a period in the second quarter where we didn't break the top of the key for like 3 minutes. We just kind of lost our focus.
Coach, obviously not the way you wanted it to end tonight, but well, what are your thoughts on this season as far as what this team's been able to accomplish?
I think this is one of the best teams to ever be at Parrish Central. This is a group that I will never forget. We will never forget. They made their statement of playing together, and they were a real together basketball team. We didn't have anybody that really stood out statewide that put up huge numbers, but I thought together we were a pretty daggone good basketball team.
Final questions? Coach, congratulations to you and the Commodores on a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you all.